Hello, good afternoon. Let's try again, shall we? It's not playing ball at all. Let's refresh and see where I am. Right. Okay. So we're on that camera and we're going, and it seems okay at the moment. I started it on that camera just so that I could make sure I'd got the difference in which one we were on. Just checking on Hayden's phone, and yes, that's all looking okay. Right, let's switch our camera back over. Right, I'm here. Oh, I think it might actually be our internet, which I'm quite shocked at. But it happens. I'll have to look into that, because I do pay extra to make sure that we don't have issues like that the bandwidth's wide enough. But yeah, never mind, we're here now and hopefully we're all good. It's still going, I'm thinking, I'm hoping. I'll just refresh it, make sure one more time. Yeah, we're there. Right. And relax. It's a lovely Thursday afternoon, and you know, we don't need to worry about technology. But I hope you're all well. I hope you all had a beautiful Easter. Was it Easter last weekend? It was. Do you know, I have no idea where I am. I've just realised that show Hayden normally goes to is only on in 3 weeks. He's on in only 3 weeks' time. I'm like, oh my gosh, what else have I booked up for then? Because he's going to need the tent and everything. And I'm like, oh, yeah, stress. But never mind. We shall leave that for another time and not worry about it now. So we're using the Catherine Smiles bundle still, but I do just want to mention Paper Pumpkin. Don't forget you can subscribe to that. You've got until the 10th to subscribe to get the April kit. After then it'll go on to, from the 11th, subscribing for the May. So if you wanted that April kit with the beautiful fishing lakeside, it's called lakeside something, I can't remember what it's called. I think I've got it here somewhere in my abundance of paperwork. I just print everything. Lakeside Retreat. That's right. Hi, Julie. I'm working now. That's good. Thank you. I tell ya, don't need the stress. So yeah, that's there for you to go and subscribe to. You can do it monthly, 3 monthly, 6 monthly, or 12 monthly. Totally up to you. And then a quick reminder of the virtual album retreat that is happening the 29th of April to the 2nd of May. Now, this is a considerable purchase. It's £233. If you've got Stampin' Rewards on your account, you can use that and get it a bit cheaper. That's what I did. But I just wanted to quickly show you what's contained in the box. So not only do you get, you can watch live or you get the video replays, because it is on overnight for us in the UK. But let me just switch camera and just show you actually what comes in the box, because for a lot of people you might not be sure of exactly what you're getting. So we've got a little welcome, and then we get a bag, and in this bag we have got, I'm not going to get it out because I don't want to spoil the surprise if you're getting it, but we've got the new white gel pens, we've got one of the new shimmer pens in the new ink colour, we've got twine, we've got our photo mats, for our photo keeping. We've got the embellishments, we've got flip flaps, we have stamps, 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 and stamps. 4 lots of stamps. And then if we dig to the bottom, we've got our page protectors. We've got papers, all mix of paper. I mean, that is a big wad of papers there. They are single-sided. We've got papers that we need to cut or mark, and then we've got a pack of die cuts. And there's at least 2, 4, 6, 8 or more sheets of die cuts. So yeah, you do get a lot. I believe, if I remember rightly, it's 10 double page spreads that it contains. So yeah, that's why it costs the amount it costs, because the amount you're getting. But that's that. We're done with that, and we're going to get crafting. So I was like, right, what should we do today? Having a little thing, and I thought, right, let's do a bit of a colour combo. We all have our favourites. We all tend to go to our favourite colour. So I grabbed the Colour Coach, which I put mine in a folder and made it. It's got, I haven't updated it yet with I haven't updated it with last year, with the new in colours from last year. I've done the sheet but not the card. I'll have to do that. But yeah, I update it and then I've got it to go, and it gives you colour ideas. Well, Hayden's chose, and Hayden chose this one here with Melon Mambo, Pretty in Pink, and Peach Pie. When he said it to me, I was like, oh, okay. Not my colours at all together. And he was like, oh, I'll change. And I was like, no, because that's good. Makes me use different colours. But now I've got them all here together, I'm really thinking it's quite pretty. It's gone very dark in here. So let's just add the other light. There you go, it's a bit better. But I'm like, it is pretty, very summery, very warm, very happy. So we're going to go with it. And I decided we're going to do a bit of watercolouring. So I've got my watercolour paper, and I want my stamping mat. I think I might need a new one. It's a bit of a mess. And we are going to heat emboss 3 cameras. That piece isn't big enough. So we'll do what we can on here in white on here. So I want my embossing buddy to get rid of any static, because we don't want the powder sticking where we don't want it. It gets rid of all the static and any grease that you may have on your fingers. And I did recently pop hand lotion on, so I've probably got some greasiness to my fingers. All right, so we'll just pop our Versamark, make sure we've got it all covered. I've got a cat hair. One there. And then we'll repeat that. We can fit the 2 on here. Now I can see that's about there. Put that lid on that. We'll do our 3rd one in a moment. And then we'll grab our embossing powder and a piece of cardstock that I use because I haven't got the tray. I keep saying I'm going to get the tray, and I am going to get the tray. But I haven't got it yet. Right, just checking where it is to get it up the right way. So we'll cover that. There we go. It's there. Thank you. So I hid in Comfy's phone. I couldn't remember where I'd put it. Right, so we've got it twice on there. So I'm going to pop that to one side so I don't knock any of that off. I'm going to do all my heating in one go. Pop that back in, and I'll grab another piece of watercolour card. Make sure we get that covered. And our Versamark ink again. Now, I did contemplate heat embossing in black. We came to the conclusion it might be a little bit too much for these colours. So we thought we'd stick to the white. Right, then I need the other part of our camera, and we're going to do 3 of those. As this builds up to create our camera. Now, with doing them like this, I could be wasting a lot of space on my phone because I can't see exactly where it is. Whereas if I did them separately, I'd be able to see and get them closer together. Bye. But for quickness, tap off the excess. Don't have access anymore, do I? Access cards where you went. Yeah, I'm showing my age, I know. Right, so I'm just going to heat those to make sure we've got those all how we like them. I'll have to unplug my phone. So I just hope my phone stays on. Should do. Right, so let's heat these. Now, I will say, while I'm doing this, just waiting for it to go, my newsletter's going out later today, probably this evening, and it will have details about everything that's going on. So if you're not subscribed to my email, you can do that, or to my newsletter. It's on my website, but I will put up the link at the bottom of the screen. I meant to do this before and forgot. There we go. That's on there now, so you can get the link to that. Just make sure that all this is melted. Turns a lot brighter and glossy. That one. And then this one. Now, a lot of people you will see waxing when they're doing this. Now, I find it better if you just hold it in one spot and chase it along. Because waxing it, you're allowing it to cool down in between. There we go. All right. That's enough with that for the moment. Let's unplug that and plug my phone back in, because the last thing we want is that going off. I mean, I've got a 4-way plug there and I've used every single one. Right. We've done those. So let's do some painting, shall we? Well, colouring. I like to use my water painters, and I think I'll use the thicker one, the medium, for this, because there's not many tiny little, and I can add those little bits in after. And let's move this. I use a tub of water. I find that works better for me. We'll start with our peach pie. Put none in there. And I'll just squeeze. And I get a bit of ink in the bottom. I know some people don't like to make that messy, so you can always pop it on a block. I'll just try and suck up some of the water. There we go. And pop that in there. And then we'll just wet our image, so it allows it to take the colour better. And then I'm just going to go over it just with a real light inking, allowing the water to carry the colour somewhat. I'm not an expert at watercolouring by any means, but I love how forgiving it is, and it really is just a case of popping it on, and especially if you've embossed, that stops the majority going out over the lines. Now I am going to put some darker bits in. I'm just going to dab that and allow it to spread and fill, so that we've got a little bit more depth in some places. And on here. And I said I'm not overly fussed if it spreads out. Can't really see what I'm doing, can you? Just bring you down a bit. There we go. I'm just adding some extra ink, because there's plenty of water on there and it'll spread. Just teasing it out. And I want a very dark bit, so I just get more or less pure ink with no water other than what's already on there, to do them little triangles there. And then I'm going to do the same on this little bit here. And a bit more up here. Just so that we've got that little bit of extra detail and depth on some bits. But yeah, watercolour is so forgiving. Doesn't have to be perfect, and I love that, because the majority of what I do isn't perfect. There we go. So that's our first piece. Then we're going to do a corresponding front for that. So some water on my brush again, and because I'm doing it the same colour, I am going to just use my brush without cleaning it, just to get some water on there. Spread that water around. And then again, I'm going to go into my ink, and I want this darker. I'm just going to add more ink to it. Now, a lot of this will be covered, as will the middle of our camera, by this when we layer it all up together. There we go, liking that. So it's just that touch darker And then I want real dark for our button. A little circle there that, to be fair, hasn't shown to you that it's any darker. I'm going to get rid of some of that water out there. And what I'm going to do is just touch on this ink on the edge and see if that will. There we go. I'll just fill that in nicely. So we'll allow that one to dry. Clean our brush. And we'll swap colours. And we'll come in with our pretty pink. I haven't used this one like this before. And there we go. But these are gorgeous bright colours, aren't they? Like I said, not colours I would have put together, but they are lovely. Oh, no, that's wrong. Not colours I would have put together is wrong, because they do go lovely together, but not particularly colours I would have chosen. And let's add our pretty and pink. I love this colour. Love this colour. I'm going to miss this when it goes. And yes, if you haven't got it and you want it, I haven't checked stock, I'll be honest. But it actually retires the end of the month, so it's a while stocks last purchase. But yeah, I think it's a beautiful colour. But we have got some beautiful new ones coming, as always. We get rid of some and bring in more. This reminds me of something. I think it's like Hubba Bubba. That's what it reminds me of. It's that tone of pink. Right, it's getting some darker again. And just add in that really softly. Don't want no more water. Got quite a lot of water on here. Still, you can always, if it is too much, just wait for it to dry, or you can even dab it up with a cloth, which we can do. There we go. That'll get rid of the excess water, and then makes it easier for us to be able to add that darker in there. I mean, that didn't look that much darker to me when I was doing it, but it really does show once it's dried how much extra ink you've got in there. Right, I'm going to dry my brush off a little bit and pick up some ink again. There we go, that'll give us another variation on the colour. And if I want to pick up a lot of ink, I just directly go to the ink pad if I want more of a solid colour. It won't hurt the ink pad in any way. Come on, that's the tiniest little button. Because I don't put water in here, it doesn't flow out, so you have to make sure you're touching it where you want it when you haven't got a lot of water left on there. And just our triangles. Excellent. Then we'll go to our little front piece again, which we want to make quite dark. So just use what's in here and see how we go. It isn't such a vibrant colour as the peach pie, the pretty and pink. It is a lot softer. So it's not going to be the same. But by putting not putting the water on first allows us to get that little bit of extra depth. Little hair. I just want to add some extra down the one side colour, just so it will give a bit of a shadow on there, because that's got a bit darker down there. It doesn't matter that they're not the same side. Right, our final one, Melon Mambo. Oh, obviously this is a bright colour, so we will make sure we've got water on here to begin with. Don't want too much, because I don't want it to end up looking too much like the Pretty in Pink. Put some on here. That can start and soak in. Right. Next, I'll give that a squeeze. Get some ink out in there. Oh, look at that gorgeousness. All right, let's pop some water in. Cat hairs. Problem with being a cat household. Oh, look. Quite excited. Look at that. Oh, that just spread then. Hi, Michelle. I had a lovely Easter, thank you. Hope you did too. It was very relaxing. We got out in the garden and did some bits in there. Had a couple of ride outs in the car. Yeah. Spent lots of time relaxing, which is what we like. It's ever so different now Hayden's grown up. I mean, he went and did his own thing. Colin's parents had gone away, so he went and stayed over there. And then when he came back, his friend was back staying at uni, so he went to spend time with his mate at uni and stayed there. Came back last night because he's got his hair appointment today. That's why he's just nipped off to. Right, I'm just going to block that so that I can get some of this extra colour in. Nice, vibrant. There we go. But yeah, we're doing a colour combo today that Hayden picked out of our colour coach. Gone over a bit there, but it doesn't matter. Using Melon Mambo, Pretty in Pink and Peach Pie. So I thought we'll do a bit of watercolouring. Just have 3 cameras watercoloured. It's just a little different technique to share with you. And I do like watercolouring. I say it's very forgiving. I am going to go along here with the dark. Especially when you heat emboss and then watercolour it, because it doesn't matter if you go over, because it wipes off. And then with watercolouring being the way it is anyway, it doesn't matter. Right, so let's add this to here. So make sure that's wet. I'll get rid of some of that wetness off my brush and then just go in with ink, because I want a very vibrant piece, which I know I shall have to go over again, but that's okay. We can add, we just can't, well, I say we can't take away, we can take away while it's still wet. because if we dabbed it, it would dry it somewhat and take some of that colour away. But that is about how I want it looking. Right, and then we want a very dark there. Beautiful. I'm happy with those. And there's our others that we've done. So I'm just going to give these a very quick dry. So grown up, we travelled up to my parents on Saturday and had Easter hunt on Sunday. I think I might have a couple of years left of that. Oh, how nice. Yeah, I do miss doing Easter hunts. And yeah, we used to go up to Mum and Dad's. Let's just move this up a bit. And even when Mum and Dad still lived in Chasetown, we used to have Easter egg hunts there for Hayden, and yeah, I do miss it. But then there's other sides of it that I don't. I don't miss at all. Right, so I'll just give these a dry off. Managed to get a blob on that one and the water hit the colour, but that's okay. There we go. I'm not worried about it being perfectly dry, just dry enough to be able to die cut them out. Right. Here we go. We'll do this one first. If I chop that off, actually. Keep that for another one. Right. So we've got our camera. I need some more washi tape. Oh, let's swap. Plug my phone back in. I might have to find another way. If I can get my phone to plug into my laptop and charge it through that, then I can have another plug free. Keep changing. This washi tape's horrendous. So old. But it does the job. Just means when it starts to split, it comes off in little pieces. Right. Pop out my jumper, get rid of some of the sticky. Right, let's pop this on here. We can die cut this one. That looks about right. And again, get rid of the sticky. And we'll do this one. Line that up. That looks about right as well, I think. Okay. And that through. Now, I should have had my pre-order come today with all my new colours and everything that I was hoping to be able to share. But it got stuck at Export Gateway, apparently, in Germany. So when I went on this morning, it was still in Germany, but UPS have said it'll be here by the end of the day tomorrow. So if that's the case, I might hop on at some point tomorrow or Saturday and just share with you what new products I've got, the new colours. I'm just going to cut that off so that I can fit the other cameras on as well. Yeah, share all the new stuff that I've ordered with you. I haven't ordered lots, I'll be honest. I did order my in colours. They're a must because they are gorgeous. I do love those. But I haven't ordered much of anything else really. A few things that I wanted that I saw from on stage and thought, oh, that's a yes, that's a must. There's a lovely pack of paper that's all black and white, and it's got some lovely floral images. I can't wait to be able to colour and fussy cut. Yeah, looking forward to that. All right. There we go. That melon mambo is very vibrant, isn't it? Don't use melon mambo very much anymore. I used to use it more than I do now. And it's a shame because it's a gorgeous colour. Now, I'm not fussed on peach pie, but doing it like this, watercoloured, I really like it. It's not so much of a peach. You get me? Or just an orange, and I prefer an orange to a peach. Yeah. Watercolouring does totally change the inks. Right, let's give us those. Move over. Let's see. We can start building and see where we need to go from there. I do have an idea of what I'm going for. Whether it'll turn out like that, I'm not sure. But we hope, we hope. Right. I'll pop those up. See, those will go on there, which is why I wanted that bit darker, so that they stand out so you can see that it is actually an extra piece. I'm going to adhere those in place. And because it's watercolour card, it's thicker and heavier, and it's warped slightly because we've added water to it. I do put that little bit extra glue on. Not because it needs it to glue down, but so it holds it flat. Excellent. I'll do this one. Come on. I'll pop that one on there. Thought you were in the office today, Julie, or are you squirrel watching? I had a lovely lunch out with Julie yesterday. We went to a pub local to Julie for a nice carvery, which was lovely. Made absolute pigs of ourselves and had a 3-course. It's very nice. And then a walk around a garden centre that was just up the road, which that was nice. Bought a few more plants for the garden. That's my job later, to plant those. Right, so now we've got those, I want to, it gives you this little tag bit there, and I don't want that on. So I'm just going to chop that off. On other cards, I've left it on and used it to put some thread on. Right, so now we need our lens. And for our lens, we have a circle piece, which we can cut out, the actual shutter, but then we also have another die that cuts out a solid that you can put underneath. I don't think I want the solid underneath. I'm just going to go with those two. And I am going to heat emboss those again. Haha, not feeling it. After you're live, I'm hitting the books. Fair enough, fair enough. I understand they're not feeling it. I was like, right, I'm going to get up at 8 o'clock, sort myself out, so by 9 o'clock I can be at my desk, do some stuff that I need to do. Yeah. I got up at 9. I sat around. Hayden got up. We had coffee and tea. We had our breakfast outside. And yeah. I want 3 of these in whites. Let's do those. In fact, if I cut that off, the excess, I should be able to dip this in here. Or I might have done. Now I've just flicked that everywhere. All over me. All over the floor. Never mind. Not to, oh, I have. I've done 2 of those way too close. See how they're touching. But never mind. We'll do the 2 off there and then. But yeah, I've made a right mess. I'm now white. It flicked up. Right, let's do another one of those on here. Embossing buddy, so we don't get it stuck where we don't want it. I'll do another one of those. And then we can do 3 of these. The actual shutter. Spacing these out quite a bit. Very wasteful. I know. Right. Let's pop this on here. Let's see if we've got everything. Tip it straight back in there. There we go. That's better. Right. Knock off any excess. Get rid of that. My lid so that I don't end up with that everywhere. Right. And we need to heat these again. So back to swapping plugs. Where's my plug for my heat tool? There we go. Right. Lots of this today. I'm really sorry, but I really wanted to do this technique. Now I am doing both of these, and I can choose which one is better and go with that one. The magic of this never gets old. You can't see. It goes from dull to shiny. There we go. I think I'm going to need a new heat tool soon because that's starting to get a smell. A heat smell. Right. Let's grab our small machine for this. And we can die cut these out. Don't need all the plates. Now I've sorted out another hard to do after this, but I don't think we're going to end up having time considering we are nowhere near on this one. Washi tape stuck on my other things still. Right, line that up something like, and that, pop that way, and I can pop this one on here, rip that in half. Okay. Cut these out. Come on. That's one of those. Out the extra bits that we don't need. Line that back up. There we go. And take this one out. And then we'll do this one. Yeah. Okay. I can pop this through and cut these two. It's slipped. Push that a bit too hard. Okay. Right. And that's for that one and that one. And then our final ones. Hopefully I can get them both at the same. I should have done the other one because these are. I don't want these dies to overlap. No, we're okay. We're okay, I think. Yeah, just. There we go. Now, I saw someone the other day on Facebook was saying that their plates are ruined because they're all like this and dirty and scratched. They're not ruined at all. Mine are warped, but they're still totally usable. Every now and again I give mine a bit of a scrub and clean it, gets rid of all this stuff, because that's only card stuff, card fibres that are in there. But as you can see, I've swapped them around a bit to use the other one. So yeah, don't think that because your plates are scratched and dirty and warped that they're no good. I've used them with cracks across them. Part way, if they crack, that's fine. Over time, it happens. Right, so we've got this bit. So that glues over there, and with that on there. Now I'm going to add colour to the inside of that. So on these pieces here, I'm just going to quickly add some colour on those. And because it goes off the edge and I've die cut them, I'm just going to use it on my silicone mat. Peach first, and I'm just going to use what's already in here. Yeah, should be wet enough. It's just a little bit. It's only in between those bits anyway that will get any colour on, because the rest is embossed, so it just comes off. There we go. I'll wash our brush. Pop that one away. Pretty in pink. Let me dry my brush. Again, I don't want lots of water in it. And that's just enough on there to be able to give that some colour. Perhaps would like that a little bit darker. There we go. That's fine. And then our final one, give that a wash and a bit of a dry. And grab our melon mambo. And I mean, that's got lots in it still. But we use more water with this, with it being such a strong colour. Anyway. Right. There we go. Wash. Dry. Pop that away. Then I'm going to wipe these off. And that will get rid of any colour off the white embossing. Which you can't really see, can you? Because it's... I'll just wipe that. And that's got a pinky touch to it. Which if I got a wet cloth, that would come off. But I'm happy with that being pinky. Let's pop it back up so we can start assembling. Sorry for making you a little bit seasick. Right. What I'm going to do is just pop this in the middle. Shall I raise it? I'm going to raise it on the peach pie. I'm going to add a dimensional overhanging, 3-dimensional, so they're slightly overhanging, and you'll see why in a minute. If you see they're slightly overhanging it, and then that will go over and stick to where the dimensionals are overhanging. We don't have to worry with glue then, trying to get it on that little piece. Oh, a bit of dust. Pop that on there. I'll do our other two. I'm just going to do these. Shall I do a flat? No, let's give it a lot of dimension. Why not? Dimension on cards is fun. Take that off. Pop that on there like so. I can stick that one on. Just in the middle there. And last one. Again, overhanging. I don't think I've quite overhung that one quite enough, but that's okay. Make up for it on that one. Stick it on. There we go, it's got it. One box off there. Pop that on in the middle. There we go. So we have our 3 cameras. Now I'm gonna, because of the size of the cameras and doing things, I'm gonna do it on a DL card. Now, I don't personally know the exact size of a DL card. The way I do my DL card, am I going to do it on white? Yeah, I think we stick to the white so it stands out. So I've got a piece of thick basic white. Now I know it's 21 wide, so I'm going to cut it at 21. And I believe this will fit in a DL envelope. Score at 10.5. So we have a 10.5 by 21. Grab my bone folder. There we go. And that is not quite. I mean, you could, if you wanted a larger border, use that, but I don't. So I'm going to cut just a piece of basic white. That is 10 by 20. So it just gives me, no, 20.5. That just gives me that 0.5 centimetre border. Looks like a quarter all the way around. Okay. And then we will have our cameras on here. So I want to do a little bit of something on the background. And I think I want to make a mess. So I need a piece of grid paper. If I'm going to make a mess. Bit of grid paper. Now, because I'm using normal basic white, I've got to make sure I don't put too much water down. So we'll start with our peach pie. I'm going to get a big brush. And actually, I'm going to squeeze that again. More out. Bit of water in there. And then I'm just going to squish it. We'll see how that. You won't see a lot of it. I don't like that. Don't like it. Let's try again. It all needs to be done in one go, I think. So 10 by 20.5. And this is the thing, you know, you try these things, they don't work. You try something a bit different. Right. Make sure we've got enough to do what we want to do. Right, so that's not dark enough. So I'm going to do it the other way. I haven't got a Rinka before anyone says, use a Rinka. I'm going to do it this way. On a block. That's better. I prefer how that's turned out. All right, so we've got our peach pie. And if we did it on watercolour paper, we could have made it a bit more of a actual shape rather than having to brush it across. And then we'll add some water for our pretty in pink. and we'll add that. I don't know if I'm going to like this, I'll be honest. But we shall see. And then more water, melon mambo. Let's see. We can but play, we can but play. Actually, it's not that bad looking at it in the screen. But I'm going to do a little bit extra. I'm going to flick. So I want my dark, excuse me, leaning over, pretty in pink, my dark peach pie, and I'm going to go light melon mambo, I think. Just see what that, no, not right. Let's try dark. Yeah, it's better. Right, so we'll have a flick of melon mambo, pretty in pink, and peach pie. Now I like how I've got more around here than here, so I'm just going to give that another real light flick around there just to add a little bit more up there, and I'm happy with that. Right, we could do with perhaps some ribbon. I haven't got a lot of ribbon at the moment. Of course, most of mine's retired. I could have done with a black ribbon, but I haven't got. What have we got in my last chance box? I have checked and all this is still current. So I've got sweet strawberry slush or darling duckling, timid tiger. I wonder, secret sea, what that would look like. I think it's near enough to a black. Yeah, and I just want a couple of pieces of that across. I want that one on opposite way or the same way. I think I like that one being different. Yeah. So you'll hardly see any of this ribbon really, but I just think it needs it. I'm just going to put where I know. Oh, that's still wet. It's a good job my cameras are going to go on top of it, isn't it? Never mind. Yeah, it's still quite damp. Right, so we'll overhang that slightly at that end. About there. Chop that off. And then we can have another piece. In fact, I should have perhaps pulled that off. Done them at an angle. It often looks better. And they're not quite the same. Straight. And another one like so. Okay. Then we can add our cameras on. So let's add some dimensionals onto here. Like that. And take the the backs off that one. So on this one, I don't need them. Need a bit further down there. Just working out where I need, because I don't want dimensionals on top of dimensionals. We've already got 2 layers going on with them on the front. Alright. That can go over like so. And then our third one actually is going to tuck under. So I just want some on this end. I'm going to put that flat. Some glue. Should have took the backs off first. I forgot. Right. Like so. And I'm going to put it on my card base so that I've got it a bit more rigid. And then I can do my sentiment and my embellishments. I have put quite a lot of glue on again because we've used water, so the card has warped. So it needs gluing down in extra places to what I would normally. Normally it would be just around the edges, but I've put it in the middle to help hold that down. There we go. And then to the mess. Finished with that. I'm not making no more mess. We need a sentiment, which in here we've got captured life's moments every day. But I think love this smile. I think that'll be a nice one to have in there. And I'm going to potentially ruin this card. Just trying to get the cat hair off it. And I'm going to stamp direct onto there. If I swear, I'm really sorry. I won't. I promise. I'm going to get Secret C. I'm going to be brave. Just do it. It should be fine, she says. All right. Stamp that. Yeah. It's stamping good. I'm nervous, can you tell? Right. I need to make sure. There we go. Love it, love it, love it. And then we just need some embellishments. And I think it'd be nice. I think I'm just going to go rhinestones because we've got something to tie the Secret C in. And I just think basic rhinestones is all it needs. I mean, we have got some. I mean, look, the sequins would be lovely. But I don't think we need more colour. Maybe you're all shouting at me, no, you need colour, but no. This is what I want, I think. I have got some actually. Still in a little baggie here from a kit. I'll use those first. I do want some larger ones. You know, I think this card can take all larger. I think I'm going to go with 2. And they're both the large and medium. No small ones on here. We're going big. There you go. Right. Pop these away. Tidy up a little bit. And then you'll be able to see properly what we've done. I'll pop those in there too. They belong in there. Move some of the mess that I've created. Well, I know I was getting very messy because I was conscious of time. And I know people have got work to do. So pop that in the bin. Let's just bring you down slightly so you can see. Oh, there we go. That's our card for today. I'm really happy with that. So lots of watercolouring, lots of texture. And you can emboss in. Thank you, Julie. Yeah. Yeah, I was a bit worried at one point. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that. Right, so I'll switch around. Move that out the way so it's not in my face. Right, well, thank you very much for watching. If you're watching on the replay, don't forget to leave me a comment and I will get back to you. And I will be back this evening at 7:30 where we will be doing a scrapbook page along the same lines as this, using the same techniques. See you all later. Bye.